Hi, welcome to Classic Car Cave. Man, it's hot here. It's 33 degrees in Austria. Whoa. Anyway, it's just going to be quite a small video, maybe under 10 minutes, I don't know, with just a few things that I've raised in the past. Rants, but in a kind of funny way. The first one you're going to see is a WhatsApp that somebody sent, and the first bit you'll see is riot police. Well, they're actually police doing riot training, and I remember we did this in the Marines before. We went to Northern Ireland. We had a place down in Kent, I think it was, and it was a made-up village with cars and prams, and it also had dummies and things, and it was a 2.2 range. You could put in the SLR, the 7.62 rifle, you could put a 2.2 round into it and use it, so it was live firing, but it was only a 2.2 round, not a. So it's like a CQB, a close quarter battle street, and it had a bulletproof. What could you say, like a control tower, and they used to do the training there. So they put different scenarios. If you sat too long, they had explosives under bins, not explosive, but like a thunder flash or whatever under a bin, and it was training. So this is what these cops are doing, and obviously it was in the 70s or something during the miners' strike, possibly, where they're banging the shields, and they don't do that anymore. They kind of stopped it in the 80s. So it's a bit of footage about that, and then the next one is a gay pride day, whatever. And I thought, oh, these guys have just bought second-hand uniforms, but apparently it is illegal to impersonate a police officer, I believe. And I have a friend who's works for the Manchester Police. I won't tell you what department, his name, I think, but he works for them, and he assures me that this is proper footage, and they are allowed, not during duty time, but they are allowed to go on these parades with their uniform. And it also depends on the chief constable. If the chief constable happens to be bisexual or homosexual or lesbian or whatever these genders are, whichever way they lean, for want of a better word, they allow them to do it or not do it. So when they have different commanders, different superintendents, or different commanders of the brigade, it depends on, they seem to have their own rules. And then the bit at the end, which is the funny bit. So.
Disgusting! Never have I seen such a display of blatant puffery. Never in all my life!
Okay, so the second clip you're going to see is a friend of mine sent it from Blackpool. He has a YouTube channel called Mad Jock Projects, and this is his own name. It's not we call him, just call him Mad Jock. Bit of a conspiracy theorist, but a top guy, extremely funny as well. And we were talking about the cycle lane video, or the cycle lanes, or the cycle situation around the world, and he was telling me about the one they had in Blackpool. And I'm not getting on about cyclists there. I'm thinking about local councils. When I spoke to them, I've got two friends that live in Blackpool, Martin and Pia. And you know, when you watch the video, you'll see there's a big long strip of, there's grass, there's just a kind of field on one side, and the sand dunes, not quite sand dunes, but the sand dunes on the other side. So they could easily have left this road as two lanes going up and down, and just made the cycle lanes on one side or two sides, whatever. And they wouldn't have had to pull up any of the roads, they wouldn't have had to disrupt the traffic would still flow. And according to them, particularly during the illuminations, which I believe is 3 months of the year in Blackpool, you have Blackpool illuminations, all the lights down the Golden Mile or whatever it's called, and it gets completely choked up, you can imagine. And so it's the local councils really that I because they're all fucking woke these days, and you know, extreme left, you know, get rid of cars and this, that and the next thing. So the other alternatives they could have used would have been so much easier and actually so much cheaper to the taxpayer, or to the general public. So there you go. So anyway, have a little look. It's about 3 minutes long, but it just shows you the kind of stupidness of these local councils. There's just no thought process or common sense. You know, literally common sense is, the problem with common sense is it's not very common, I suppose. That's the joke of it, unfortunately. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the clip.
Right, David, I'm just going to give you a quick, here's the new cycle lane on the left hand side here. They've took up half the lane. One bit's the pedestrian and one bit's the cyclists. But you've got the whole, what, 6 metres of pavement. This is you from St Anne's all the way up. Here we go. Bus stop in the middle. And it breaks either side of the bus stop. The bus stop actually comes out into the road and actually narrows the road even more. Island in the middle of the road, so you can't like just overtake you. You can just make a bus through it just all the way along. This used to be a 50-mile-an-hour stretch of road. It used to be 4 lanes, 2 going into St Anne's, 2 going into Blackpool. And we've lost a bit on the other side for a cycle lane and a cycle lane on this side. So you actually have 2 cycle lanes, one on the other side of the road and this monstrosity on this side of the road. Oh look, a cyclist. There actually is one on it. It is fucking mental, mate. Now this is the only route, basically, other than Queensway, between Blackpool and Lytham and St Anne's. So you can imagine how busy it gets at 5 o'clock. Bus stop, same again, comes out into the road. Now this next one's the best one. I'll back off this car in front and you will see where the road steps out for a police vehicle parking spot. Right here. Look. Police. You couldn't make the shit up if you fucking tried. Same again, another bus shelter in the middle of the fucking road. I said I would do it one day for you, so there you go. That's a little cycle route from St Anne's up to Blackpool. As you can see, this is the way the road used to be. 2 full lanes and then a filter lane going up to Blackpool.
If people can drive down a road with white lines in it, you know, where you've got 3 lanes or 4 lanes or 1 lane even, mind you, some can't even manage that, I have to say. If they can manage to go down a road in between 2 like white lines, you'd think at slow speed it would be easy to reverse into a bay and not all sit at an angle. Something that I know people say, oh, does it really matter? It does, because what it shows to me is this typical disregard for everybody else, this lack of respect for anybody, you know, certainly the police these days. I mean, when I was a kid, I know it was a long time ago, but when I was a kid, we had local bobbies and they all knew you. And if you did something wrong, broke a few bottles or something, or I don't know, were playing on a building site, you know, they'd give you a clip round the ear and take you home. And then you'd get in and the old man would give you a wallop too, so you got it twice. But now they're all so, especially the, you know, the millennium ones, you know, they have a child and they think, oh, it's God's gift to humanity and God knows what. And all they do, basically, I'm sorry to say, is set them up for a fall, because then, once they're teenagers and they can't get a job, or they're doing this, or they have to work in Burger King for minimum wage, they're disappointed. But they were being set up for a disappointment in the first place. So that's how you park. Okay, the parking spaces has got a kind of, I'll put my hand here, you might see my hand. There we go. Yee. That's at an angle, but you can see the white line is down the side. How difficult, I mean, you have to learn to drive on a single track road with a white line in the middle. Why can't people park it straight in between two lines? It's weird. I don't know. There you go. This is a 3D camera over a Mercedes. Let's see.